I've scammed 12 couples out of $500,000, and you were supposed to be number 13. The birth mother said this to me in the lawyer's office, 3 days before our adoption was supposed to be final. My wife and I had just handed over the last payment, $8,400 for final legal fees, bringing our total to $40,000 for a baby we'd been dreaming about for 6 years. I couldn't breathe, couldn't process what I was hearing. The words hung in the air like smoke. "What?" my wife Lauren whispered. Her hand found mine. Her fingers were ice cold. The birth mother, Melissa, she'd told us her name was Melissa Parker, was crying, real tears streaming down her face, mascara running black lines down her cheeks. I've been doing this for 3 years, finding desperate couples on adoption websites, Adoption Connect, Angel Adoptions, families, through adoption, taking their money for rent, medical bills, food, lawyer fees, then backing out at the last second and keeping everything. My hands started shaking. We'd met her 8 months ago, December 3rd. I remember the exact date because it was our anniversary. 6 years married, trying for a baby the entire time. She'd seemed perfect, 24 years old, sweet, scared. Said she'd gotten pregnant by accident, the father was gone, she couldn't raise a child alone. She wanted a better life for her baby because she couldn't provide one. We'd believed every word. "Why are you telling us this?" I asked. My voice sounded far away, like it was coming from underwater. "Because I'm tired," Melissa said, her voice breaking. "I'm 8 months pregnant and I can't do it anymore. I can't keep lying. The baby is real this time. I am giving it up, but I needed you to know the truth before you took it. I'm Daniel Cooper, 37, software engineer from Portland. My wife Lauren is 35, elementary school teacher. We'd been trying to have a baby since we got married. 3 rounds of IVF, 2 miscarriages, $60,000 in medical bills, years of shots and hormones and hope and heartbreak. The doctors finally told us it wasn't going to happen. Lauren's uterus had too much scar tissue from the miscarriages. You could try surrogacy, Dr. Patricia Williams, our reproductive endocrinologist at Oregon Fertility Center, had said, but that's another $100,000 minimum, or you could consider adoption. Adoption seemed like the answer, a way to build our family without the medical torture, without the monthly disappointment, without the constant reminder that Lauren's body had failed us. We'd started researching in November, found Adoption Connect, created a profile, posted photos of our house, our golden retriever Max, our letters to potential birth mothers. "We can't wait to meet you and give your baby a loving home. We've dreamed of being parents for so long." 2 weeks later, Melissa contacted us. Her message was perfect. "You seem like exactly the kind of parents I want for my baby. Can we talk?" We talked on the phone, video chatted, met in person at a coffee shop. She was 7 weeks pregnant, scared, alone. Her parents had kicked her out when they found out. The father had disappeared. "I want my baby to have a stable home," she said, crying into her latte. 2 parents who love each other, a good school district. Everything I can't give. We fell in love with the idea of her baby immediately. Our baby, the one we'd been waiting for. Our adoption lawyer, Robert Martinez, 48, partner at Martinez Family Law, 23 years of experience, drew up the paperwork. Open adoption, pre-placement expenses paid by adoptive parents, birth mother has right to revoke consent until legal finalization, he explained. That's standard in Oregon. You'll pay for her living expenses, medical care, and legal fees. Budget around $35,000 to $45,000. We didn't have it. We took out a home equity loan. $45,000 against our house in Northeast Portland. 20-year repayment, 6.5% interest. It was worth it. For our baby, we paid for everything. Her apartment, $200 a month for 8 months. Her groceries, $400 a month. Her maternity clothes, her medical appointments that insurance didn't cover. Her cell phone bill because hers got shut off. Her car payment when she fell behind. Her rent at a new place when she said the first apartment had mold. Every time she asked, we paid. Because what choice did we have? Our baby needed a safe, healthy birth mother. "I'm so sorry to keep asking," she'd say. "I just don't have anything. You're saving my life. Saving the baby's life." We believed her. Lauren stood up in the lawyer's office. Her face was bright red. Tears were streaming down her face. Get out right now." "I'm sorry," Melissa sobbed. "I'm so sorry, but I couldn't let you adopt my baby without knowing." "Get out!" Melissa left. The door closed behind her with a soft click. The 3 of us sat there in complete silence. Me, Lauren, Robert. Robert's face was pale. You could report her, but proving adoption fraud is incredibly difficult. She could claim every expense was legitimate at the time and she changed her mind about adoption, which is her legal right, and she's probably spent all the money. "You likely won't get anything back." $40,000, Lauren whispered. $40,000 and 6 years of hope. Gone. Robert looked like he might be sick. "I'm so sorry. I vetted her. I did background checks. Everything looked legitimate. She had medical records, a pregnancy test, ultrasound photos. She passed every screening. In 23 years, I've never seen anything like this." We drove home in silence. Lauren cried the entire way. I couldn't cry. I was numb, empty. That night, I didn't sleep. I kept thinking about 12 other families, 12 other couples who'd been destroyed like us, who'd emptied their savings for a baby that never came, who'd had their dreams shattered by someone who saw their desperation as an opportunity. $500,000. 12 couples. Years of their lives. Then I remembered something. I'd been recording the entire meeting. I have ADHD. I record all important meetings so I can review them later. Work meetings, doctor appointments, legal consultations. I use the Voice Memos app on my iPhone 13. Hit record at the start, let it run, save the file afterward. I'd done it automatically when we walked into Robert's office. Didn't even think about it, just habit. I had her full confession on tape. Every word, every detail, every admission. I've scammed 12 couples out of $500,000. I've been doing this for 3 years. Finding desperate couples on adoption websites, taking their money, then backing out at the last second. I listened to it 4 times that night, making sure it was clear, making sure every word was audible, making sure I wasn't imagining it. Lauren woke up at 3:47 a.m. and found me sitting in our home office, headphones on, listening to Melissa destroy our lives on repeat. "What are you doing?" she asked. I recorded her confession. Lauren's eyes went wide. "What?" "The whole meeting. Every word. I have it all. We need to call the police. They won't care. Robert said adoption fraud is almost impossible to prove. But I have an idea." I called a private investigator at 8:00 a.m., Marcus Webb, 52 years old. Former Portland PD detective, 18 years on the force before going private. His website said he specialized in fraud investigations. "I need you to find everyone she's scammed," I told him. "Every couple, every transaction, everything." "That's a big job," Marcus said. "How much are we talking?" "She admitted to 12 couples over 3 years. $500,000. He whistled. "That's federal wire fraud territory. This could get expensive. My rate is $150 an hour plus expenses." "I don't care. I need everything. I need this woman stopped." It took 2 weeks and cost $5,200, but Marcus delivered. He found 10 of the 12 couples. Names, dates, bank transfers, amounts. He found her profiles on multiple adoption websites using different names. Melissa Parker, Emma Sullivan, Sarah Chen, Ashley Rodriguez. Same photo. Same story, different details. He found couples in Oregon, Washington, California, Nevada, Idaho, all with the same pattern. Contacted through adoption sites, paid $35,000 to $45,000 over 6 to 8 months. Birth mother backed out last minute. Marcus found 3 couples who'd reported it to local police, but nothing happened. 5 who were too ashamed to report it. 2 who'd moved away and tried to forget. He got written testimonies from 8 of them, detailed accounts of what happened, bank records showing wire transfers, screenshots of messages, email chains, everything. "This is one of the most clear-cut fraud cases I've ever seen," Marcus told me. "She has a system, a script. She's been running this operation like a business. I created a complete file, 73 pages, her recorded confession, written testimonies from 8 couples, bank records showing the money trail, over $400,000 in tracked transfers, screenshots of her profiles on different adoption websites, copies of fake lease agreements she'd sent to prove she needed rent money, medical bills that were inflated or fabricated, everything." Then I called the FBI. Special Agent Jennifer Walsh, 41 years old, Portland Field Office, White Collar Crime Division, 15 years with the Bureau. "Mr. Cooper, adoption fraud across state lines falls under federal wire fraud statutes," she said when I met her at the FBI office downtown. "If what you're telling me is accurate, this woman is looking at multiple federal charges. I have proof. All of it." I handed her the file. She spent 40 minutes reading it. Her expression went from interested to shocked to furious. "This is thorough," she said, "very thorough. You did our job for us. I'm a software engineer. I know how to document things. The recorded confession? Oregon is a one-party consent state? Yes, I was party to the conversation. It's legal. And you have testimonies from 8 victims willing to cooperate. 8 confirmed. Possibly 4 more if we can track them down." Agent Walsh closed the file. "Mr. Cooper, I'm opening an investigation immediately. This woman is a predator. She's been targeting vulnerable families in their most desperate moments. That's not just fraud. That's psychological warfare. Can you arrest her? Not yet. I need to verify everything. Interview the victims, trace the money, build an airtight case. But yes, within a few weeks, we'll have enough to bring charges. She's 8 months pregnant." Agent Walsh's expression didn't change. "That doesn't make her innocent. If anything, it makes this worse. She's been using her pregnancy as a prop to con people. She'll be arrested, she'll be charged, and she'll face trial." I also called every local news station in Portland. KOIN 6, KATU 2, KGW 8, KPTV 12. I have an exclusive story about an adoption scammer who's conned 12 families out of $500,000. I have recorded confessions, bank records, victim testimonies. I'll give an exclusive interview to whoever runs the story first. 3 stations called me back within an hour. All 3 wanted the story immediately. I chose KOIN 6. Their investigative reporter, Michael Chen, 47, Emmy-nominated journalist with 22 years of experience, promised a full investigation. "This is exactly the kind of story we need to tell," Michael said. "People need to know this is happening. We'll protect the victims' identities, but expose the perpetrator completely." The story broke on a Tuesday morning at 6:00 a.m. August 15th, KOIN 6 News. The headline, "Local woman accused of scamming adoption-seeking couples out of hundreds of thousands." Melissa's face filled the screen. Her real name, Melissa Ann Parker, 24, from Beaverton. Her photo from her driver's license, screenshots of her multiple adoption profiles, testimony from victims, faces blurred, voices altered. "She took everything from us," one woman said, crying. "Our savings, our hope, our dream of having a family." The anchor, Sarah Williams, looked directly into the camera. According to documents obtained by KOIN 6 News, Parker allegedly ran this scheme for 3 years, targeting at least 12 couples across 5 states. The FBI has confirmed an ongoing investigation. "My phone wouldn't stop ringing. Text messages flooding in, emails, Facebook messages from people I hadn't talked to in years, other victims calling me. I saw the news. She got us too. Different name but same person. Can I help?" 2 more couples came forward, then 3 more, then 5. By Wednesday afternoon, the FBI had 17 confirmed victims, over $630,000 in documented fraud. Agent Walsh called me. "We're making the arrest tomorrow morning. Thought you should know." Thursday, August 17th, 6:24 a.m. I watched it live on television. FBI agents and Portland police at her apartment building in Beaverton. The one we'd been paying $1,200 a month for. Except her real rent was $850. She'd been pocketing the difference. The news helicopter caught everything from above. Agents knocking on her door. Melissa answering in a bathrobe, 8 months pregnant, confused. The ground cameras showed her face when they told her she was under arrest. Pure terror. They read her rights, put handcuffs on her, carefully, because of her belly. Walked her out of her building while neighbors watched, while cameras filmed, while reporters shouted questions. "Melissa, how could you do this to families? Do you feel any remorse? What about the babies you promised? Did you ever intend to give up your child?" She kept her head down, tried to hide her face, but the cameras caught everything, her tears, her shame, her terror. The same terror I'd felt sitting in Robert's office listening to her confession. The news anchor's voice. "Melissa Ann Parker is being charged with 12 counts of wire fraud and interstate adoption fraud. Federal prosecutors say each count carries a maximum sentence of 20 years. If convicted on all counts, Parker could face over 200 years in prison." The preliminary hearing was 3 weeks later, September 7th. Mark O. Hatfield, United States Courthouse in downtown Portland. Lauren and I sat in the gallery. So did 6 other couples. All of us victims. All of us there to watch justice. The prosecutor, Assistant U.S. Attorney David Kim, 44, 18 years with the DOJ, laid out the case. The recorded confession, the bank records, the victim testimonies. The pattern of behavior spanning 3 years and 5 states. "Your Honor, Ms. Parker ran a sophisticated fraud operation targeting the most vulnerable population imaginable. Families desperate to have children. She exploited their hope. She profited from their pain. She stole not just their money, but their dreams of parenthood." Melissa's public defender, Jennifer Brooks, 32, fresh out of law school and clearly overwhelmed, tried to argue mental health issues, difficult childhood, remorse. The judge, Honorable Patricia Morrison, 61, 23 years on the federal bench, wasn't buying it. "Ms. Parker, you ran this scheme for 3 years. You had dozens of opportunities to stop. You chose not to. You targeted 17 couples that we know of. You stole over $630,000. You showed no remorse until you were caught." "I'm denying bail. You'll remain in custody until trial." Melissa started crying. Her lawyer whispered something. She nodded. Then Melissa turned and looked directly at me, at Lauren, at the other couples sitting in the courtroom. "I'm sorry," she said. "I know that doesn't mean anything, but I'm sorry." The bailiff took her away. She walked out of the courtroom in an orange jumpsuit, hands cuffed in front of her pregnant belly. The trial was in January. 7 days of testimony, 17 victims testifying, FBI agents presenting evidence, forensic accountants tracing the money, the recorded confession played in court, every word. The courtroom went silent, listening to Melissa admit she'd scammed 12 couples, was about to scam us, had done it for 3 years. The jury deliberated for 4 hours. guilty on all counts. 12 counts of wire fraud, 5 counts of interstate fraud. Sentencing was in March. Melissa had given birth in January while in custody. A baby girl, immediately placed for adoption through the state, legitimately this time, with a family who'd been vetted through proper channels. Judge Morrison looked at Melissa with disgust. You didn't just steal money, you stole hope. You stole dreams. You inflicted psychological torture on families who were already suffering. The cruelty of your actions cannot be overstated. 15 years in federal prison, $630,000 in restitution to victims, permanent ban from adoption-related activities. Melissa cried through the sentencing. Her lawyer patted her shoulder. The bailiff took her away. We got $37,000 back, out of the $40,000 we'd paid her. The FBI recovered about $400,000 total from various accounts. The rest was gone, spent on clothes, cars, vacations, things she'd hidden. But the money wasn't the point. The point was justice. The point was stopping her from doing this to family number 18 and 19 and 20. Lauren and I tried adoption again, legitimately this time. Through a state agency with strict oversight, it took 2 more years, cost another $25,000. But in September, we brought home a baby boy, 3 months old, born to a teenage mother who genuinely couldn't raise him, vetted through proper channels, legal, real. We named him Jack Daniel Cooper, JD for short. At his first birthday party, surrounded by family and friends, I thought about Melissa Parker, about how she'd tried to destroy us, about how she'd destroyed 12 other families before us. But we survived. We got justice. We got our baby, eventually, through the right channels. And she got 15 years in federal prison, which seemed like a fair trade for trying to steal our dreams. I've scammed 12 couples out of $500,000, and you were supposed to be number 13. Those words changed everything. Made us victims, then survivors, then advocates. We testified before the Oregon State Legislature about adoption fraud, about the need for better regulations, better oversight, better protection for families who are vulnerable and desperate. The Parker Law passed in 2025. New requirements for adoption facilitators, background checks, financial transparency, legal penalties for fraud. It won't stop every scammer, but it might stop the next Melissa Parker. And that's worth more than the $40,000 she stole from us. Because sometimes the worst thing that happens to you becomes the thing that saves someone else. She tried to make us number 13. Instead, we made her the last.